And good morning. Welcome to It's How You'll Be Remembered, where we try really hard to inspire you. Let me start that over. We want to elevate your influence so that you can inspire others and have a greater impact on your world. So, Cameron, it's been a long time since I've said that for a while. So, welcome, Cameron Ruschhaupt, to It's How You'll Be Remembered. I'm so glad that you are here.
Thank you, Julie. Happy to be here.
Yeah. So I usually like to tell people how we met. And usually when I have people on here, it's because we met networking. But you and I did not meet networking.
No, no, no.
Actually, we're family.
Yep.
So he is married to my daughter, complete transparency. And I've always said that I could not have picked a better spouse for her. If there's anyone who's more perfect for her, it is you.
Oh,
And
thank
so I've been so proud of you and to watch your journey. You're getting ready next week to celebrate 8 years. Is that right?
you. Yep. Yep. Going on 8 years, 11
Eight
years,
years
years married. Yeah.
married. Yeah. And Cameron is in real estate, and he is with the agency Dallas. And you may remember him from being on today's Professionals magazine last fall. Yes. And so I'm going to put the link to this in there as well when the show is over. I'll put the link to this magazine. I want to say this cover got so much attention.
Really?
The publishing company, yeah, the company that actually printed it reached out to me and said, "Can we use this in our advertising?" Because yeah, it's just a great cover. So congratulations on that.
Thank you. Yeah. Y'all did
Um,
an amazing job. Y'all made me look good.
well, it's easy to do when you have somebody who is like you on the cover. But I really wanted to have you on here today because your story and your journey is so inspiring to me. It has been such a joy to watch you since you and Catherine were married and how everything came about. Um, I remember the first time I ever saw you was at Catherine's graduation from college. And there's like all this crowd of people, all her friends were around her, and she has on her cap, and it was all decorated on top with the
Yeah.
rhinestones, very blinged out. And Catherine's around there, and I look, and you're standing in the back. Like you're just
Mhm.
kind of taking it all in, which
Yeah.
is
We were
so,
very new at that point. So yeah,
yeah,
kind of hanging back.
very classic Cameron, just you stand back, you're kind of introverted.
Yeah.
Um yeah, and you just kind of take it all in. But what I love about that is you are so good at reading people. And I
Mhm.
think that's something that you have, that you're gifted naturally at, is that you have such a strong emotional, high EQ, emotional intelligence. And so, what I'd like to do today is I want you to share your story
Okay.
of how you came out of college and how you ended up in real estate. Because I think this is, it's a very difficult industry to break into, but
Mhm.
your journey has just led you there. And then we'll talk about how it is that you are successful, and you've been featured in another magazine coming
Mhm.
out soon. We'll talk about that too.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, again, thank you so much for having me.
Sure.
Um, and I know you said that you couldn't pick a better son-in-law, but I promise you, I can't pick a better mother-in-law either. So
Oh, thank
usually,
you.
definitely. But anyway, so yeah, so my story essentially, I met Catherine back in 2013. She was graduating college. I was still going to be in college for another year. So we kind of started our relationship off in a long distance relationship.
Mhm.
And then I ended up moving to Dallas from San Marcos, where we went to school in 2014, and quickly had to figure out what I wanted to do with my life because I had no clue at that point. I was going to school to be a coach and teacher. I pretty much decided the last year of my college, pretty much 2 semesters out from graduating, I was like, this is not what I want to do. And I called an audible, and I decided to go into personal training. And I got a
Right.
job when I moved up here as an in-home personal trainer. And
Mhm.
that was really cool. I was able to meet some really fantastic people, but it was my first real experience. Now I had jobs prior working, summers and over the Christmas breaks and things like that. But that was my first time really working and kind of being on my own because after about 6 months, I decided to start my own in-home personal training business. And that was me as an entrepreneur, and I never thought that was the route that I was going to go. I'm
Right.
so happy I did. I am so happy I did. It's been a huge blessing. But I was an in-home personal trainer. I had that business from 2000, I believe, 15 until 2020, whenever COVID hit and the whole world shut down. But
Mhm.
that was 2020 was a big year of change. So essentially, it was about 2000, I'd say 18. I was about 3 years in, and then me and Catherine were kind of like, I have no time. I'm waking up at 4:30 in the morning to go train people from 5, and then not getting home till 8 o'clock because you're on other
Yeah.
people's time. You're
Right.
working on other people's schedules, and
Right.
we knew that we wanted to start a family, and we're like, what are we going to do? We really had no clue. But in 2018, one of my clients, who's a great friend of mine still to this day, blessed us in allowing us to partner up with him to help flip a house. So essentially, we were watching
Right.
HGTV like everybody was in
Yeah.
2017, 18 is when it was real big. The whole
Exactly.
flip shows and all that stuff. And we decided to flip a house, and it was successful. We were able to take a home, needed a lot of work, put in the work,
Mhm.
sell it, make a profit. And we're like, wow, that was really cool.
That was
That was
fun.
my first taste, yeah, that's my first taste of real estate. And I kind of had
Yes.
like eventually I wouldn't mind actually getting in this space and doing this full time. Well, we decided to do another flip, and this was in 2018 to 19, our second flip,
Mhm.
and we kind of lost our butt. And it was stressful. I was stressed out to the max. I learned a lot of hard lessons, which are going to happen when you're in that space. But I quickly learned that I'm an anxious person, and that may not be the best that may not be the best place for me to be with my, I'd say, personality. I love the idea of it, but it's just I wasn't extremely passionate about that. I still had a passion for working with people, but I knew that I wanted to do something within the real estate space. And
Mhm.
2020 happened. We had our only daughter, or we had our daughter in 2020 in January. I had a retinal detachment in my left eye in February of 2020. I'd have surgery within a couple of weeks, and I was out. And then COVID hit, March, April, whenever it was, when everything shut down. And
Yep.
whenever I was able to go back to work uh, after my eye recovered, nobody really wanted me in their house.
Yeah.
So
It was
I had to,
COVID.
yeah, it was COVID. So I had to pivot, and we had a newborn, and had to figure it out. Like many people, a lot of people had to
Mhm.
just figure it out at that time, and
Mhm.
decided, you know what, we have all this free time. I might as well get my real estate license. I have the time now. Let's do it. So got my real estate license, and I've been licensed since August of 2020. And yeah, never really looked back. I ended
Wow.
up dissolving the personal training business, and here I am.
And what a great story. You're sitting at home in 2020. You have a newborn, which you gave birth to one of two of the cutest babies in the world. I'm pretty sure, right?
Maybe a little biased, but
Yeah. So I have two grandchildren, so of course, they're the best. So yeah, you've got the newborn, you've got a family, and no one is working in the personal fitness area. And so your mindset there was not just, woe is me, you know,
yeah.
your
Mhm.
mindset is, well, how can I make the best of this? And so one of the words that I use to describe you, Cameron, is resilience. This is, your ability to say, how can I pivot?
Yeah.
How can I do something that I love? I've had a taste of flipping homes. We've made a profit. I loved every minute of it. And your father is also in real estate too.
Mhm. Yeah.
So you've been exposed to it before, and you thought, I want to do this. And so you literally during 2020, sitting at home recovering from eye surgery, take an online class.
Yeah.
You're millennial. You did it from your phone,
I
right?
did it from
Yeah.
my phone at like 11 o'clock at night, essentially. Yeah.
I
So
mean, this is the great thing about young people. You get on your phone, you can do anything from your phone.
yeah, yeah, no doubt. And it gave me new life though, because I was feeling just so unmotivated with that previous life. So I always say that, 2020 was definitely the year of change in our lives, for many people, but especially with my situation where I took on a new career. We had our first child. We had just bought our first house in 2019,
You
November. We
did.
bought our new house. So
Yeah.
there was a lot of change, and there was a lot of scary times, but
Mhm.
I
Mhm.
guess you're right. I mean, you have to be
Yeah.
resilient in this world, but um, it was one of those things. I do believe that with the right mindset, you can 100% overcome any obstacle that's in front of you. So,
Yeah. And I mean, you have the ability to change your life.
mhm,
And that's what you did is your mindset was, look, I got to do something. This is not the end of the world here, but this is a change. So you embrace change. You
right.
embraced it.
Right.
You
And it
know,
may not have been the smartest move, to be completely honest. Little did I know that at that time, all real estate agents were stressing out because they weren't even able to go into homes to show these homes. The COVID changed a lot, and I wasn't aware of any of that. So whenever I came in, I knew no different. But I also didn't realize that there was 80,000 plus real estate agents in DFW alone.
yeah,
So I was going to be one of 80,000. And I didn't
80,000.
really think that through. All I thought about was, hey, I know this many people. How do I leverage my relationships in order to build a business? And that's what I thought of. And that's
Yeah,
what
speaking
I
of,
tried to focus on.
yeah.
But, it may not have been the smartest move, but thankfully, here we are. We're okay.
Well, I mean, okay, so I need to address that a little bit because sometimes I think not knowing is better
Yeah.
because if you had talked to some of the other real estate agents are like, oh, we can't show houses, it's so bad, it's so bad. That affects your mindset. You went into it saying, hey, I'm just going to do this. And
Yeah.
4 years later, you are now, let's talk about real producers. I
Yep.
mean, you're featured now in Real Producers. Tell us a little bit about Real Producers.
Yeah. Real Producers is an organization here that represents or acknowledges real estate agents that have done a certain amount of production within their markets. I think there's 4 different markets here between Dallas, North Dallas, Fort Worth, and I believe North Fort Worth. I'm in the Dallas market. My office is in the Park Cities. So, yeah, this year was my first year. I was recognized as a top 500 agent in the
Yay.
Dallas market. So essentially a
Mhm.
top 2,000 agent in the entire Metroplex. I think, the agent count has come down from 80,000. I think we're somewhere a little over 60,000 agents, 65,000 agents in DFW Metroplex. But, within a few years, I think that I'm very proud of that. Um,
Yeah, I'm
very,
proud of you too.
but you're right. Whenever you touched on maybe not knowing was the best thing. And that's true because I see a lot of agents getting their licenses right now, and a lot of agents reach out to me. Um, I don't tell them the bad stuff because the statistics say, I think, what is it? 90%. It's like 85 or 90% of agents are out of the business within 2 years. They may retain
Yep.
their license, but they're not working as full-time real estate agents.
Right.
It's
Right.
very, very hard. I think the average agent, it takes about 6 months in order to close their first transaction. And
Yeah.
that's real. And we don't get paid a salary. We are fully commission only. So
Mhm.
for a lot of agents, they can't survive that long without, a paycheck.
Right.
Essentially, it's very, very
Right.
difficult. But not knowing, I had my own game plan of what I wanted to do and what I was planning on doing. And thankfully it worked out, and it's working out, and it's continuing. I'm trying to grow on it. But with a
Mhm.
lot of agents coming in, they hear these statistics, but they need motivation more than anything, because if
Right.
I can do it, they can definitely do it too.
Right. Well, and the thing is, and I remember Carl Graff, one of my mentors years ago. He used to always say, "Successful people do the things that unsuccessful people won't do,
Yes.
not that they can't do,
Yes.
that they won't do." Which brings me to our second word of the day that describes you, and that is you are not only resilient, and you have a like a just a what do I want to say, mindset. I mean, just like just a steel, like you
Mhm.
just I'm just your mindset is just so strong. But you also have self discipline, because mindset is one thing, but when you couple mindset with action,
Right.
now you've got a formula that works for any business.
Yeah.
Whether you're an entrepreneur, or whether you're working for a company, or whether you're just, working in life in general, self-discipline is your ability to regulate your feelings and your behaviors to work towards that goal.
Yeah.
And you do that very well. Um,
What-
so tell us a little bit about things that you're very disciplined at. What are your non-negotiables?
Well, and I do want to say it's not something that I at all was born with. It's something I have to work on every single day because, like I mentioned earlier, I'm a very anxious person, and sometimes to combat that anxiety, I have to do certain things so I can be productive during the day. And for me,
Mhm,
that's stabilizing a couple things within my life before I can even think about being a successful real estate agent for the rest of the day. And that's taking care of myself. I feel like, you knew me back when I was doing the personal training thing. I was an extreme hypochondriac, and thankfully that's kind of passed over. But, I was always worrying about being healthy and taking care of myself. And if I
mhm,
can take care of that, I was a better husband to Catherine, and I was a better trainer to my clients. And it's the same thing now,
mhm,
taking care of myself, starting off the day with working out and eating right from the beginning. It's not to say that I
mhm.
eat right throughout the day. That doesn't always happen. Things come up,
Yeah.
and real estate agents sometimes we live out of our cars, so we do what we can do. But I control what I can control, and that's first thing in the morning. I'm going to obviously we have a little family time here. I take Collins to school. I go work out, and then I start the day. But my mindset is if I am good, if my body and my mind is good, if my family's good, then I can be a great real estate agent. If any of those two things, if my relationships with my wife or my daughter or our family, or my relationship with myself is not good, I'm going to be a terrible real estate agent. And
Mhm.
I really have to focus on those things early in the day so I can do what I need to do throughout the rest of the day, essentially.
Yeah, so you've got a morning routine that really works with you. Do you also, I know that when you take Collins to school, you're listening to fun music.
Mm.
Um,
Yeah.
I think you all listen to worship music too, right?
Yeah, yeah. We listen to a little bit of worship music, country music, whatever she wants to listen to. Essentially, we
Yeah.
one for one. She gets a song, I get a song. But you know, recently moved up to Prosper, and she still goes to school in Plano, so it's about a 30-minute drive in the morning, which is fun
Mhm.
because that's a lot of alone time that I get with her, and we just have fun. Uh,
Right.
and that's a little me and her time. And then whenever I drop her off, I go straight into the office. Typically, I work out of the office 3, sometimes 4 days a week, just depending upon what's going on. We have a gym at the office that's really really nice, and no one's ever in there. So I essentially just
Oh,
have
that's good.
myself. So I drop
Right.
calls off. I drive another 30 minutes into the office, do my workout, and I'm essentially at my desk by about 9:40 with breakfast, starting everything I need to do for the day.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Yeah. I think one of the things too that you're really good at is processes and schedules. You're a planner, so you mentioned that you're anxious, and so you get up in the mornings to work out and to get your mind straight. You have your quality time with Catherine, and then you take Collins to school. You also, though, have processes and schedules that you keep. You plan your time, and you stick to those schedules. That really helps you accomplish the task, right?
Right, right, 100%. I mean, in this business, the success is in the follow up. And if you don't have a follow-up plan, you are not going to be successful. We bring in plenty of leads, and I would say, 90, sometimes 95% of those leads don't account to, a closed transaction. But that's not to say they don't in the next 6 months, but they may in the next 2 years. So you have to have follow-up plans and a schedule for that. So that's something I do every single day. I'm always, I have a plan to follow up with current, and past clients and potential leads that have come through. And I work that every single day. And then the afternoon, I try to leave time for, that's my time to go show houses. That's my time for appointments, and doing the actual, real estate side of things rather than just the relationship side of things. But, one thing I do want to touch on, because I think it is so important, is relationships. And in this business, just like in many businesses, I'm in sales. I mean, that's what I am. When you go to real estate school, you learn about a real estate transaction, but you don't learn what it takes to be a successful real estate agent.
Exactly.
Right. And it's all about relationships, especially with the market being what it is right now, with interest rates being where they are right now. 2021 and 22, whenever I was brand new in the business, you kind of just buckled your seatbelt, held on for the ride. It was very transactional. I couldn't be like that because I was so new, but for a lot of agents that were in the business for a while, it became very transactional for them because the market was moving at such a fast pace. And now when interest rates went up, and started rising at the end of 2022, obviously 2023 interest rates were high the entire year. It was a slow market last year. It was slow in a lot of different areas. It wasn't as slow here. So we're very blessed that we live in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. We had 150,000 people move here last year. So there was definitely transactions happening every single day. Weren't seeing a dip in home prices like a lot of different large areas around the country were. So again, blessed for that. But it was a slower market, and it really made you realize what you have to do in order to be successful in this business or any business, and that's develop relationships. So having a schedule to develop those relationships is very, very, very important.
Right. And I think that you having a natural high emotional intelligence level is helps you a lot too, because I don't think that everybody understands that. I don't care what business you're in, we're all in the people business.
Yeah.
And so relationships are important.
Yeah.
Right. Because people they will remember how you make them feel. And so with that, give us one or two tips that you use to build those relationships.
Well, a lot of times, I mean, it's just about being a good friend and showing that you care and showing that you're there to lend a helping hand if needed. If you're all about trying to get a sell with every single body you come in contact with constantly, they're going to smell that from a mile away, and they're eventually going to pick up your phone call anymore.
Yeah.
So, I think you need to be intentional on actually building the relationship versus just trying to get a sell. And I think that's definitely something I try and focus on. It's not about transacting within the next, 3 to 6 months with every person I call. It's about, hey, if you're looking to sell in the next 5-10 years, or you're looking to buy in the next 5-10 years, who are you going to think of? Hopefully that's me. Right? But in the end, I mean, I enjoy just developing relationships and being there for people. So I think that's really, really important. Obviously, social media has been incredible for that. It's easy for me to stay in touch with my sphere of influence and build those relationships with the way social media works now. Obviously, everybody's putting their entire life through their stories and everything else. So, it's very easy to have quick little conversations with people depending upon what they're doing in their life.
Right. You have a wonderful social media presence. You all loved yesterday was Monday, and you got up. This is so true, Cameron, self-discipline and processes, right? So you got up yesterday, you took Collins to school, and then you hit the gym and you just did a quick picture, hey, it's Monday. It's
Mhm.
time to get to work. What are you doing? Are
Yeah,
you out working? And I think that's very encouraging and motivational to see you constantly doing I mean, it's routine and consistency
yeah,
is what really drives people to success. Doing the little things that other people won't do. And so
absolutely.
getting up every day, hitting the gym, taking care of yourself, taking
Yeah.
care of your family, is really good. And I will end with this. We talked about working out, spending time with family,
Hmm.
taking care of clients, following up. We talked about that, but there's one thing that I remember back in, I guess it was the end of 21, maybe beginning of 22. We were sitting at the table at your house. We were all, having dinner, and you said, "Hey, fam, we just haven't gone to church in a while, and I think it's time for us to get back." I mean, you really took the lead here and said, "We're gonna go to church," and you said, "This is the church we want to try," and we all said, "Okay." And so we have been going to church as a family, and having brunch every Sunday, like that family time, that spiritual time, things that we can do together to grow spiritually has been something too that I was really proud of you for that, for taking the lead in that,
Thank
and
you.
saying, I want to do this. And so we're going to raise Collins in the church. We're going to have these family values. And pretty much without fail, we go every Sunday
Mhm.
and we go to brunch afterwards. That is just our family time. And it's
Yeah.
it's a non-negotiable.
It's not
So
negotiable for all of us, and I love that we all have busy schedules. You have a busy schedule on the weekends. You typically have a lot of meetings as well, just as I do. But we fully committed that Sunday mornings are our that's our family time, and that's our time that we spend together.
mhm,
And I love it. I love going to
mhm.
church. I love going to brunch right after, and a lot of times me and you are both leaving to go to meetings right after that.
Yeah,
But,
yeah.
but no matter what, that's our time together. I think it's very important. It kind of goes back to what I was saying. Like if my mind is right, if my family relationships are right, I can be right for everybody else. Uh,
Mhm,
with what I do as a profession and as a friend.
mhm.
But if
Yeah,
my family relationships aren't right, that is very, very hard for me to get out of my head and to move on with my life, to do things to what I need to do on a day to day basis to run a successful business. So
right,
prioritizing that I think has been very
right,
big for not just me, but my business as well.
right. Well, and it's paying off because you are growing, you're building your team.
Yep.
Cannot end this without saying now you're scaling. So
Yeah.
you've built it. You've got your self-discipline, you've got your resilience. Now you've got your systems and processes, and now you're scaling.
Yes.
And so you're building your team. Um, you know, do you have a goal set for the next 5 years, like how big you want to go, or are you just
Not
saying
necessarily
I just want
about
to scale?
how big I want to go. I want to bring in the right people. I want to create a atmosphere that um, and I could talk about this for hours, but we are trending to where real estate teams are the norm. At my brokerage, I think we maybe have two solo agents. Everyone else is either a team lead or on a team.
Okay.
Uh, we are heading that direction where teams are the way forward, and I want to lead a team and be a part of a team with individuals where it's not like a me thing; it's definitely an us thing where we're building it together. So I don't want to say like I have an agent count or a production number that I want to get to. I think it's about just creating a family atmosphere, which I've obviously done. A couple of the people that have come onto the team are family members, so that
Mhm.
helps kind of create that family atmosphere. But then bringing in
Right.
individuals that would fit into that really well is very, very important. So that's the main thing. I
Yeah.
just want to bring in good agents that are motivated. They want to be successful, but they want to do it together. And that's my main focus right now.
Right. And I know you're going to do it well. I mean, you've already been working really hard since the beginning of the year on setting it up so that it is a place where the right people can come and thrive.
Yeah.
Because you believe, like I do, it's our responsibility to train and grow our next generation of leaders. And that's exactly what you are doing. So
Thank you.
couldn't be more proud of you, Cameron Ruschhaupt. And I will put the link to today's professional magazine in. And if you would, when you get Real Producers, when it comes out,
Yeah,
if you would put that in, we'll definitely share that out as well.
definitely.
So proud of you for being a real producer, being featured there. That is fantastic. And so the world is your oyster, as they say. So thank you so much for spending time to talk about how you are growing your business and how you're achieving your goals and living life with purpose. So
Yeah,
thank you for taking time today.
yeah. Thank you. Thank you for having me on. And I'm sure I'll see you soon.
Oh yeah, probably later today.
Probably.
Okay. All right, Cam, we'll talk to you later.
Bye.